Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No, no. Afternoon, crew. Good to be here. Greetings. Well, as I'm saying, where one or more is gathered, I'm here to spread some knowledge. So today I was pulled in to speak about royalties, publishing, and licensing. And normally that is a topic that most or if not everybody in the room is supposed to know something about. But really and truly, a lot of you just know it surface level. One of the things I want to start out by saying is our industry, particular Jamaican music industry, there is this notion amongst people outside of the space that the only reason we take up music is because we are functionally illiterate. Understand this, that people who enter reggae, the only reason they do it is at the end of the day they don't have no other skill set. And so they decide, we're trying to think in music. And because of that mindset, and because of how most of us enter the music business, we enter with a limited amount of music business literacy. A lot of us don't understand that the music business is not about artists. Have a clicker? Where's the clicker? All right. So, first of all, I'm Lloyd Laing, been in this business for about 30 years across media, technology, and music. Started out in technology as the first, bringing the concept of unlimited internet to Jamaica via World Telenet International in 1996. I have done so many things along the way. But the ones that I am very, very proud of is bringing the concept of unlimited internet to Jamaica. Establishing the Tablet in Schools program at the University of the West Indies, which is the most successful in the English-speaking Caribbean. And I think one that I'm really, really proud of is signing what is considered the largest recording contract for a single in the history of Jamaican music with Jermaine Edwards. So I have done a lot of groundbreaking work. But at the end of the day, one thing never changes, and it is my passion for music business literacy. And one of the things, you might see me online, for those who know me, Reggaeology, that is one thing I'm always sharing, is music business, and I share it very straight. So today, for those who always see me in brevity, you're going to get it in gravity. All right, so I'm a music brand strategist, and what that is, I am the person who looks on the artist's X factor, what makes him different. And then I create the narrative, teach the artist how to tell the story, build the experiences around the music, because music, is more than just selling a record. It's about selling experiences. And that's the difference between a successful artist and a successful music brand. Understand the difference? Next slide. Now, we have to understand the core definition of what the music business is for us to understand what we're going down into. The exploitation of intellectual property with creative and commercial potential for profit. Look at that line well. Look good. And tell me where you see the name artist. You see artist in that line? No, you don't. Look good. So the artist, when it comes to the money-making part of music, is just a part of the process. Getting to what? What's the most important part? Intellectual property that can create profit. Next slide. So this is the music glyph. And most people look at this and you can't understand it. But I'm going to break it down to you because it looks like a symbol. But if you can understand this, you will understand the most important part of the music business, which is protecting your interest and equity in intellectual property. That's all your music come down to at the end of the day. You might have a song and I'm feeling it and the vibe. Nobody gives a hoot. Is it a good piece of intellectual property? Can I sell it? Can I license it? That's what it comes down to. It don't come down to you. So what you need to do, if you're thinking about the music business, take yourself out of the picture. But if you want to do the art, that's fine. You are the central focus, but understand that once you leave the studio, you are no longer an artist. You're a piece of, you're an equity holder of intellectual property, and you have to deal with it accordingly, right? So, next slide. So royalty, publishing, and licensing. And we're looking at it from, as we said, the music glyph. The artistic trifecta, catalog management, licensing systems, and royalty administration. Those are the 4 columns you're going to need to maintain your intellectual property. Next slide. Your royalty, publishing, and licenses determines your revenue potential latitude. As you can see there, your creative equity, which is what you own in the song. The business systems that you have surrounding how you do your registration and how you protect your intellectual property. Monitor your revenue streams using things like Musa to see if your credits are straight. There are tools out there to do this, but a lot of times we just release a song and then we're looking for the PR and the promotion without looking, have we protected our intellectual property? And then we have this common scenario in Jamaica and in our music industry where we drop a tune, the tune go hot, a label runs come to you and say, hey, we want to sign it for publishing. You didn't own your own track, you never record, you never register the track, you did send it to some brethren who is a train station who drive train in New York for register it, so all it in a theme. I've seen the whole gambit, right? And a lot of us make some very, very, very simple mistakes that lead to serious problems down the line. Because we have this attitude in the business when it comes to copyright. We'll deal with that down the line. And then down the line becomes 5 years because you end up in the thing and you start touring around the world now and rare, and then you look back now, the thing slow down and you say, yo, how much money I make off of that song then in publishing? You have nothing. Because your publishing is your pension. That's the only way you're going to get a pension in the music business, you know, by maintaining your interest in your intellectual property. Next slide. What is the key principle in the music business? Most of we don't understand what that is. The control and monetization of intellectual property while building and sustaining an audience. Look in that line again and tell me if you see the word artist. And don't see the word artist, don't it? All right. Because the fact is that the artist concept stops at behind the studio door. Once you open the studio door and you step out, you have to put on your business cap now. Artists don't matter. The artist only matters in the creation process. The selling of the music, the artists don't matter. Because Michael Jackson is dead, still selling. So you have to understand that after the creation, you really don't matter. And you have to keep that in mind because that's the only way you're going to be on your toes to maintain your equity in your intellectual property. Because your publishing is your pension. Next slide. Fundamentals of protecting your intellectual property. And this work right across anything, music, art, this is just what you're supposed to do. You create the work, you split the property, so if other people are involved in the creative equity, you make sure so them get them piece. Because it's not money alone run music. There's a thing called karma as well, and that's the biggest currency in music, yeah? Then you have register the ownership. Whatever the process is, you have to show ownership. You buy a car, you have to go to tax office, go register it, right? Same concept. You don't drive a car and then when the police stop you, you say, you know, something I got to deal with it last week. The officer, no, don't work like that. And then after you register the work, that's just one piece. Most people forget to register the recording. Because how are you going to get public performance if nobody can track your performances? So you have to go to media base and illuminate and make sure they know that you have a song out. So when them see that ISRC code, them can say, yes, he has gotten a play over there, so and then that percent check go over there. So, right? Next slide. Now, most of us think it's just the music is the only intellectual factor. Well, I'm write a song and we need to back up my piece. And no. There's a lot more intellectual property than just a song surrounding an artist. You have him voice, especially in now, we're in this AI paradigm we're in. You better be protecting your voice. So half hour in here, if you don't know your tripod do that yet, on a salt. Lyrics, name. Now let me show you something about the name. That's so funny. Did you know that 82% of the artists in Jamaica don't have a trademark to them name? 82%. There are people that make business out of registering artist name and then sending them a cease and desist letter. Did you know this? The whole industry. your likeness, how you look, especially in the age of AI, you better be protecting that. Public performances, that is something that we fail to understand, that public performances, how you get your money from public performances, you know, you have to register your public performances, you know. You didn't know that? You didn't know that, right? If you hear your song play on radio, you go into your Escape and BMI and say that 424, sign up that. You go perform on a show tonight as you reach home, you go enter it. That's the only way they're going to know how you perform. You think them sitting here and listening and wait for you? They're not. You're insignificant until you make yourself relevant. Especially when it comes to the business of music. We're not talking the artistry. The business of music. You make and you merch. Most people don't realize that in this new paradigm of music, your music is merch. Because gone are the days where, when back in my days, and Doc and the rest of it who've been in the music for a while, a record was a record and you used to sell a record. Now, it don't matter because they have devalued the record to such a point that if you are not augmenting it with an experience, it's not going to sell. If you don't have a story to tell, you don't have a record to sell. And that's the new paradigm in music. The whole thing when you come out now, yeah man, brand new tune, out now, yeah. Nobody not sitting here waiting on no music, and like back in the days, there are so many options in entertainment now. We're not sitting down and waiting on the next Sasko, or sitting down and waiting on the next album from Buju. When it come out, you better make sure so you shout louder than everybody else in the night to make we hear it. Nobody's sitting down and waiting on an album anymore. Nobody's sitting down and waiting on the works. The only way people anticipate your artist brand is if you have an experience that they want to be a part of. And if you're not selling that experience, ain't nobody sitting down and waiting on another song. Merch and make. Your merch and your music is the same thing. As I say right now, music is merch. That's how you have to look on it. And how you tie in that music to other pieces of merch. So, you know, like how you have packages to the thing, how do you tie in your music to your merch? Because it's either you're a t-shirt vendor or you're a musician. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. But just remember that if you call yourself artist, you're in the music, you're in the business to do what? Sell? All right. Licensing. No, don't move yet. Licensing, because we want to talk about licensing. We have to understand how third parties use our music. That is what licensing is about, you know. Third party usage of your music. Now I see something that I say, oh, how this work out? But because we are so lackadaisical in the space and a man just glad to see the same thing I play on radio or it over on the internet, nobody looks on, yeah, but how am I collecting off of this? Perfect case in point. When this just gets up and decides that, oh, they're going to do a mixtape by Bloodline Franco. And I'm like, that's cool. But who is paying the licensing for all the songs in that mixtape? You get me? So what has happened, because when this don't do them due diligence, the artist has not done their due diligence, DJ Franco just playing music. So at the end of the day, the artist them losing out, and Wendy's has not paid a licensing fee. But everybody just glad because guess what? Wendy's are playing my thing, you know? Yeah. You can't take that to the bank. You think you can take, oh yeah, Wendy's are playing my tune, man. They get $10,000 there. It don't work out. You have no equity. All you have is talk, and talk can't go shop. Next slide. So this is something a lot of people don't know. The song split matrix. And it has never been broken down for anybody like this, because most of the time, half of the people don't even know how this thing works. Producers. So you look, there are three parts to it. There's the mechanical, there's the publishing, there's the master. Now, anything that you see in black is negotiable. Anything that you see in red, you, depending on your role, need to consider and put deep consideration into. For example, a producer. A producer should, which is one of the red flags, am I going to get fees at the mechanical? That's the first thing you should be asking, based upon the arrangement of the production. And that arrangement is determined by the production agreement. 99% of the people who do music in a business in Jamaica. 99%. voice loud still, you know. 99% of the people in Jamaica that do business in music do not use a producer's agreement. A producer's or a production agreement is supposed to break down what everybody's supposed to get, what roles are played, what the songwriter going to eat. Everybody work out that maths first before we go into the studio. So everybody know what them going to eat. Don't wait until the song goes. Man, so but I need the other line and rare and then I'll be a talk after that and bad vibes and worse if the song busts now. Everybody is biggest enemy. And a couple weeks ago, we were all biggest friends right in the studio. You want to maintain the friendship, work out the business first. You understand? Now, everything, as I say, if you see it in black, it's negotiable. You're a producer. First thing you're supposed, am I going to get piece of the mechanical? Or they take, what is the arrangement behind me getting my mechanical? Publishing is negotiable. Your piece of the masters, all of those are negotiable. Composer, why a red flag? Was it a work for hire agreement? What was the agreement between me and the production team as a songwriter? Will I maintain my rights as the songwriter, my publishing rights? You have to make sure so you remember them things. A cut of the masters depend on the level of composer you are. You can negotiate. All of the points in black depend on how the relationship, your gauge, your altitude in the music business. Master rights, mechanical, publishing is negotiable. Depending on if the label want to give them a piece of the thing, master rights is theirs. Art is similar. Sometimes the artists don't write the song. They are just singing the song. So they don't really deserve nothing. Nothing. Because that would go to the composer and the songwriter. Now, if they decide that they want to give the artist who don't write a line something, depending again on your altitude and the relationship, that's negotiable. But understand this matrix, because a lot of times, especially where the red points are, is where we falter. Next slide. The definition of an executive producer. A lot of people don't understand what an executive producer is, you know. And it's more than the person who pays for the studio time. Because even that requires a production agreement. So the owner of the master recordings is the person or entity that financed and holds the right to the original recording. And the person that pays the money for the project determines what right, the distribution of rights, until he has, all right, so he determines who get piece of the equity of the song because of him finance the song. So if him finance a song and him feel like you all got what you were supposed to get, producer, rare, and get in a room on board and a plane ticket and in a per diem and in a daily, go on back on a yard. That's the fact. So always negotiate your position. Don't matter. I know, you can only get a no once, you know. And you can only ask a dumb question once. But once you ask that dumb question, you would have learned. That's a great thing. Next one. So this is how the music revenue streams go. Rights holder, master recording, but we break it down in a way that you can finally see. What a lot of people don't know is that for every part that happens over to the right, mechanical and digital, you get piece right here, so. Say Spotify pay your songs. Most people don't know. If you earn $1,000 from Spotify, there is probably about $800 or $900 in publishing fee. But most people in here just focus on the mechanical. So you collect the $1,000, but you don't know that on the publishing side, there's another $800. So really and truly, for every $1,000 you earn, you might make, for every dollar you earn on the mechanical side, you probably earn another 80 cents on the publishing side. People don't know this. And so we leave a lot of money on the table here. Last year alone, our industry left on the table in terms of royalties, publishing, and missed licensing opportunities almost accounted to over 5 billion Jamaican dollars. Last year alone. Who gets that? All right, so as I always say, the music business is about the exploitation of intellectual property. If you do not exploit your intellectual property, somebody is going to exploit it for you. Next slide. So 80% of Jamaicans fail to properly register their works. And that is the producers, musical composers, and lyricists. We fail to do this. We either do it after the song has been recorded, after the song has hit radio, after the song is gaining traction, but nobody does it before. Did you know you can register a song before you even go in the studio? Or you never know this? If you dream up the idea, you walk over in the night in the underpants and go sign it up and say, yes, this is what me start work on tomorrow. You don't even have to write down the lyrics. You just have to have the concept in your head. When we say Babylon I go burn down in a room, go and register it. Get your ISWC, all of them number they put down first. So when you go into the studio and say, you know, Jimmy, me have an idea for your song, you know. Jimmy can't teach the song. After, boy, you know, so we lose a session and 4 months later, it pops up in France. You get me? Register on a song, yes. For those who don't know, you can register your music before you even put the first line on paper. Next line. The definition of a music producer. Now we get this wrong so badly. In our space, it almost hurt with Ed. Come on, just come on and start, yeah man, me a music producer. But you know what a producer is supposed to do? The producer is supposed to manage the production process and ensure the final product meets market demands and quality standards, which means the producer is supposed to ensure say, all the things are registered. But most producers don't even know how to sign them name properly. I'm not going to go around that. Because I deal with the business on a daily basis. The good, the bad, the ugly, the inexperienced, the new. And I've seen it. I've seen it all. So when I tell you, say, sometimes you see the biggest producer in this business, they don't know. And if you want a revealing opportunity so you can go and satisfy your curiosity, go sign up for a thing called Muso. And then go look and you realize the devastating state of our musical publishing in this country. So I stop sorry for artists when they come to me and ball, you know. I don't sorry for no artists who balling over publishing. Not one thing. I don't have a drop of remorse because you should have done what you're supposed to do from day one. But we can't get caught up in the dub plate thing and dub plate, and now watching a thing. Move on. Next one. So the red flags are, we do not utilize split sheets. 80% of the people in this business, from you start talking to them a split sheet, you say everybody start grumble. Boy, we're not going like, wow, I'm not trust me. Yo, come on, a business we do, bro. We need a split sheet. Let's get to the split sheet. Let's get to the production agreement so that after the split sheet, we can tie it into a production agreement. Everybody knows the role and play. Them know whatever creative equity them going to get out of the thing. And so we're not a problem and fight over money when the money's time start to split. They do not register recordings properly or in a timely manner. A lot of people, and when you start using Muso, you realize artist's name not there, producer's name not there, label's name not there. Who collects that money? Smart agencies who realize you have left your copyright on the table and they go and register it, and then all of a sudden you wonder, who is Jimmy Jam publishing? Oh, Jimmy Jam just to say you don't have a publisher, so just take up the money and go and eat a food and put down the money in one like an escrow. So when you decide to come and catch up with Jimmy now, Jimmy has made interest upon interest upon interest upon interest over your money now and just give you like a check. And you're so glad for it. Because you never know, say, Jimmy, yeah, there are publishing sharks in this business that if you leave your publishing alone, they'll take it up and eat the food for you. Okay. Have no clear catalog management process. You see, that side of the thing is where we died. The other day when Harborview Investments came to Jamaica and was buying out everybody catalog left, right, and center and looking for catalogs to buy in the business, a lot of people lost an opportunity to make millions for people who've been suffering in the music business for so long to change their lives simply because what? Them catalog never straight. 500,000 walk away from them. 1 million walk away from them. 600,000, 350,000 because why? No proper catalog management system. You find out the song from 1986 that they want so bad in the catalog they are willing to pay for your entire catalog for that one song, still not register properly. I've seen artists in this business that have 143 registered songs, but only 18 are properly registered. But then walk up and down a TikTok and talk about all the business. Mash up and thief and Because I'm going to tell you something, if I do work with you, and I leave you to go and register your portion of the song and you don't, I'm going to register it. Because the only way I can collect my portion is unless everything is reconciled. So I'm not going to allow you to stop me from eating my food. And if you don't take advantage of it, guess what? Somebody is going to take advantage of it for you. We're in the business of exploitation. That is what the music business is. And if you don't exploit your intellectual property, guess what? All right, next slide. So securing your IP. You create the idea, you split the song, you register the work, register the recording, and then you register the release. 1, 2, 3, more time. These two, we're not bother with that. Right? Register the work, register the recording, register the release. Next slide. So for those who are self-administering, you have Jaipo, very great place to start. If you want to do, I'm tying a thing into the blockchain, you use DACR, very great tool. They're coming here, they'll be here in about 3 months in Jamaica. They're going to have a base office here. Song splits, where you can go online to do all of your song splits. So nobody not to do no paperwork. Send an email to that, them and them like it, and sign off right there, so boom. So splitting of songs is no long hard thing. And anybody who, when you ask for song splits, and them determine from day one, so they never give a piece of song. Anybody that there's a conflict of, all of a sudden there's a problem when it comes to the arguments of splits, stand up firm, because they never plan to give you none in the first place. No, go back, yeah. Ask up, all right, so after song splits, make sure so you have a standard production agreement. If you're a producer, make sure you have a standard producer's agreement. That will change according to but make sure you have a standard template. Because besides from your song splits, the production agreement is what is going to tie in everything and make sure that you have legal claim to what we're talking about here. Then you have the registration points. ASCAP, BMI, PPL, IslandRock. No, I don't know, but IslandRock is a new PRO that does global management for you. Right? You can check them out, but they are invite only. So let me take a look on your catalog, make sure you say things straight and rare. And you have all of your, I's dotted, T's crossed, and you can do some work with them. Then you have to go song credits. Now, if you don't have your own ISRC codes or your block, you go to song credits, you can buy it in the blocks. But this side right here, so, is just as important as this, because this is registering the work. This is registering the recording. This is what? Registering the release. All of these things are important. People say, oh, you get from Grammy, oh, you get from Billboard. If you're not registering with Mediabase or Illuminate, how them going to know how much record you sell, how much time you get play, calculate that through for them matrix and decide, say, all right, for the 115 where you did this week, we'll get the 21st spot on the reggae chart. You understand? You want to get on the chart, you want to get visibility, you want to get brand this right here says very important. Next slide. Most people do not know the difference between a music administrator and a music publisher. It's two different things. A music administrator does your registration for you. They make sure the work is registered, the recording is registered, the release is registered. All of the point of presence is to make sure that your metadata is in the right place. That is what a music administrator do. A music publisher is supposed to go and work your catalog for you. And so a lot of music publishers are really administrators. And you have to determine if the person who is coming to you is a publisher or an administrator posing as a publisher. Because they are the ones that are supposed to look the licensing deal for you. They are the ones that are supposed to look opportunities to exploit your intellectual property. And if they are not doing that on a regular basis, if they are not doing that on a timely basis, if you don't see the activity happening, don't do it. And as I always say to artists, the most important thing is not your stage performance first, is not watching over who are your team or your is to ensure that you know how to do the registration process. I tell people one thing in the music business, you don't have to do everything, but you have to at least know how it's done. So that you know when somebody is doing it, you can monitor the quality of what you are getting. You don't have to do it every day, but you have to know the process. And knowing the process of registering your work is the most important thing you can do. It's not making the song. It's registering the work. Because if you create the work and not earning from it, don't make no sense. So move on to the next one. Your royalties, publishing, and licensing determines your revenue potential latitude. That's what I want to leave you with today. Because most people don't understand the importance of their RPL. The RPL is what makes you money in the business. And if you remember the term, royalties, publishing, and licensing, revenue, potential, latitude. Have nothing to do with artists. Again, you don't see the word artist in the word. Right? You don't see the word artist in the sentence. Because at the end of the day, really and truly, the artist don't matter after the song is done. Michael Jackson is dead. Bob Marley is dead. Nigga still winning Grammys. So the artist really don't matter after the song is done. How you maintain relevance is by protecting your intellectual property. Next slide. So as we say again, the artist trifecta. Songwriter, producer, composer, catalog management, recording the work, recording the release, recording the record, licensing systems. Am I admin? Do I have a publisher? Do I have a system in terms of how I pitch to films? All of these things are important, and it is unique to each artist because every artist's roadmap is different. The same strategy I use for one artist, when people, Jamaican people, want a vibe like what you did for the artist there. No, I can't. I can't. His fingerprint and his X factor is different from your X factor. And every artist's X factor is different. The reason why we're in the current state of the industry we are in is that nobody wants to design their X factor. They want to imitate the next man's X factor. But what we fail to remember is that reggae and dancehall was never about imitation. It was about innovating. Dancehall, of all the cultural movements that come out of this country, has been an innovator from day one. From slang thing, the creation of the slang thing, till now. But what we fail to see in these new artists is that it's not about imitation. It's not about me seeing what you do and trying to outdo what you do. I create something over here, sir. You create something over there, sir. And all we compete now is me creating something different from you and say, oh, you can create something different over there, sir. Not me and you going toe to toe. Not us wearing the same orange Hollister shirt. And that's how a thing work. You understand? So the most important takeaway I want you to understand that you as a creative, you have two roles that you have to maintain. You have the artistic side and you have the business side. And no matter how you say, oh, I'm not really doing the business side, cut that attitude, yeah? Because that is how people going to take advantage of you. Anytime I talk, oh, I'm not really doing the business side, that time they're going to eat the food. So remember that once you're in the studio, you're an artist. You're a creative. And when you're in that studio, you make sure so you create. But you see, once that song is finished and step through the door, it's business. Nothing else. You're not an artist. You're only an artist in the booth, in the studio. Once that song is done, you're a business person. You're a music entrepreneur. Behave that way. Set your mindset that way. Because the only way you're going to eat your food is if you know how you eat your food and who eating it with you. You get me? All right. I'm Lloyd Laing, and I'm out.
Round of applause, please, for that excellent presentation. And so, again, we're keeping it tight, so I'll take 2 questions. And I did get one from the online team. It was early in your presentation, so I believe I've learned the answer, but I want to reiterate. Mr. Nicholas McKenzie asked, are you the owner of your masters? Meaning, you got your own studio, you recorded your own song, and someone got a hold of your song. Can they claim it?
No. Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah? All right. All right. So again, understand this, Mr. McKenzie, and it comes down to this. Who paid for the studio time owns the rights. Let me show you how deep that is. If you come to my studio, record some work, walk out and don't pay your studio time, I own that masters. And until you pay me, I own that work. Because who pay for the studio time own the masters. Simple as that. So if somebody take up your work, like sometime you do some work with some artists, and them gone with the work, and it's cool, very cool. Just go and check Muso and see how the money add up. And then when you reach a lawyer level, you send a lawyer, so when them get fee cut, you're not taking out a pocket.
All right. And one question from the floor. Check, yes.
All right, greetings everyone. My name is Steve. Oh. Yeah, greetings. My name is Stephen Stanberry, everyone. I just want to ask a question.
Sure.
You mentioned something about the song split sheets being online. I've always known it to be, you have to get the paper and everything. Like, which website?
Songsplits.com.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
I thought it was a group of websites. All right, thank you.
Thank you so very much. Songsplits.com.
Definitely.
And your website?
No. Songsplits.com.
No, Songsplits. I'm asking you to reiterate your website. It was on the screen, but
Okay.
Jamaicans don't read as much. So
Oh,
we're
no,
gonna
you
say
know how that is.
regular.
All right, so if you want to reach out to me, it is Reggaeology.com. So if you need anything, any information, you can reach out to Reggaeology.com. And if you want to explore some of the projects that we've been working on and we continue working on at IslandRock Entertainment, you can always go over to islandrock.co, islandrockmusic.com for the music division. But everybody know where I am online, always available for talk, as I always say, I'm a country boy and I'm a Monroe old boy, but there's one thing that I live off of that I learned from school, and it is each one teach one, learn and care, teach and share. All right?
Excellent.
Love and respect.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.